William Shakespeare, The Complete, which I've never read. Bought it like 30 years ago when I worked in a music store, bookstore. Never bought it, read it, because the type is so small. Anyway, I guess the big news is next Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Let me check. This is how still computer illiterate I am. I did not know I could see the calendar for the month, like on the lower right of the taskbar. Anyway, yeah, it is Tuesday. It will be the 2nd of October. Not that that has any significance, but that's when I'll be uploading the video Distance into the Sun. And then after that has its run, Just the Sun has its run, will come In My Heart Tonight, which will come out in November. And then if all still goes as planned, shall all go as planned. The Boston Dialect Volume 2 will be published in December. I'm currently giving it one more go through. And you know, the thing, and it was already, like I had it gone through and proofed and everything back in January. When I had the first one, I just did one and then I moved right on to two. I was on a roll, you know. The thing that's irking and feeds into what a lot of artists suffer from, and I call it the Tom Schultz syndrome, after the founder and chief songwriter for the Boston band, Boston. Yeah. Or the band Boston. Not the town or city. No, the band Boston, you know, More Than a Feeling, you know, those songs. The Tom Schultz syndrome, where nothing's ever done. And it takes 6 years to make an album of 10 songs. I think it's actually only 9 songs, because Foreplay a Long Time was so long. But anyway, point of it all is, yes, you can keep proofing and proofing, or in the case of music, mixing and mixing, replaying, this, that, forever, and still listen or read and find something that could be different, or should be different, even if it's just removing the letter A from, like, you know, there is a cat. Take out the A, you got there's cat. Oh, there is cat. And that can have a, you know, something to it. That's exactly what I did. Not that line, but I took the A out of a line and a verse, and it just plays better. I guess that's the way. It reads better. It feels better. What I'm getting at is that even though I was convinced it was done, no, I'm finding things every other page that I'm changing. Which means that if I gave it another go through, I'd probably find more. And more and more and more. And nothing would ever get done. Nothing would ever be finished. Nothing would ever be published. You know, Ed Daly comes to mind. He fell into the Tom Schultz syndrome, never recovered, which meant that all his phenomenal work that he did in the studio that we made, he recorded some great stuff. I mean, like 90-minute tape worth of however many albums that could have broken down, or EPs. Just good, solid, well recorded, well written, everything just great. And he never did anything with it. Even, you know, when the digital age allowed for, you know, DIY distribution, and I heard about that from him, about being able to get on iTunes without being on a label. I took advantage of it and got my stuff out. He didn't. He never put together, like, you know, the Ed Daly collection, or whatever he wanted to call it. he just never did. It's not out there. And he has every artistic, sonic, quality reason to be out there. No, nothing was ever done. Nothing was ever finished, is what I should say. Things were done, of course, as in they were done. But they were never finished. And it was in his mind. Because I could say, Jesus, stuff's great, what the hell's the matter with you? Didn't matter. He never thought any of it was done. Or, I should say, again, finished. It's too bad. So I know that there comes a time, and I've said this, I think, in about 100 video blogs ago, there comes a time where it has to be done. Even if you self-impose deadlines, it's done. Because if you don't, then it's never finished. So, that's really it.